Hey, I'm Sarah, and you're listening to She's Doing All Right. This is a place for advice, encouragement, and personal stories for women in all stages of life. Whether you're figuring out your career, dealing with mental health, or experiencing postpartum motherhood, this is a space for you to be recognized. There's so much to compare ourselves to, and it can be really hard navigating it all. So I'm here to remind you that while the goal is to be thriving, it's okay if we are just doing all right for now. Thanks for being here, and without further ado, let's get into it. I injured myself crumping on my husband a couple days ago, and that is not a euphemism for anything else. If you're unfamiliar with crumping, it's a style of hip-hop dance, and it's typically used as an intimidation factor, I think. If you are still not sure what it is, the best visual I can give you is the Bring It On All or Nothing movie. And if you've never seen that, simply imagine yourself going through monkey bars, swinging from one to the next, without actually touching anything. You're just skating across the floor. In my case of my kitchen, do it super aggressively though. It worked. I got my husband backed into a corner. He said, and I quote, "I don't like this, it's freaky." And I said, "Great, I won." However, I'm 32. I did not warm up. This was a bit of a spontaneous crump battle, and I think I threw out my shoulder. So that's been unfortunate. I did have some acupuncture, and I had some cupping done, so it's covered in bruises. It still hurts, but at least I've got movement back. I will probably not be crumping anytime soon, unless it's necessary, in which case, sign me up. I'm in. Today's event and topic though was kind of inspired by that because I used to dance like that in the club, and now you might be thinking, WTF, I'm like, what the hell, Sarah? But it's true. I love dancing at the club, and I hate men dancing on me. So if somebody was trying to dance on me or dance with me, I would just get super weird super fast, and crumping was one of my styles I would go to because if you don't know what's happening, you don't know what's happening. And it's a little creepy. Ask my husband. I exposed it to him for the first time. So what I've realized, though, is that I used to dance a lot without throwing my shoulder out, I might add. And then I also was thinking okay, well, there's a lot of other things I used to do. When was the last time that I went to a club and danced like this? Now, it wasn't actually that long ago. It was maybe 2 years ago. Ooh, that sounds a long time ago. It was a couple of years ago, and that was fun. Somebody did deny buying me a drink, though, because they said, "Oh, you're a mom? Never mind." And I'm like, fair enough. That's fine. Glad we're transparent with that. I felt a little older. Anyway, I'm getting off track, as usual. Man, that happened fast. 2019, pre-pandemic, as we now know it. So that was a very fun time of my life, and I don't think we realized how fun because we didn't know the world was about to shut down indefinitely. I was a very different person in 2019, weren't we all? I realized that there's a lot of things about me that I really miss, and I always attribute it back being before 2020. Now I was wondering, okay, is it the fact that I had kids that changed everything, or is it the fact that we had the pandemic and everything closed down? What was it necessarily that I feel like I'm missing out so much on? I have come to the conclusion that we all collectively lost at least 2 years of our life, whether you had a kid or not, whether you changed jobs or not, whether your job was impacted or not. My husband seems pretty fine with everything, and his job was not impacted, other than masks and standard stuff. My job, on the other hand, got put right off the table. I was a massage therapist, and I think that was the beginning of the end for me. I used to really like massage therapy. I was adamant that I would not be the 5-year statistic in the business. I was like, nope, this is my career, lifelong. And I do see myself going back to it eventually, perhaps, maybe not. I don't know. I miss aspects of it. But 2019 was a really big year as far as personality development for me and hobbies. I felt like I was really busy. We got married. We didn't take a honeymoon, still haven't. But we bought a house, thank God, because going through COVID in our basement suite would have sucked. Anyway, I used to go out dancing. I feel like that was something I really had a lot of fun with. And I used to rock climb frequently. I was at the gym climbing probably 4 or 5 days a week. I would go out to the mountains. I have some outside gear that I used to use. I was really interested in traveling. I was booking trips with friends, and we had a lot of plans. I had a blog going. Actually, did I have that in 2012 or in 2019? I've had so many blogs that sometimes I find them accidentally and I'm a little bit embarrassed, but also sometimes I'm really impressed. So I'll take it. I also had a YouTube channel. It's still, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's the same channel. So you can go back and look at old videos. Some of them I'm actually really impressed with. I had my own thoughts. I was watching a couple of them the other day just to try to get some ideas and see what did I use to create content about. I don't think I could recreate that content now because not to the same aspect. I can take pieces of it, but I am such a different person 6 years later. And 2019-year-old me 2019 me was a little naive, I think, but also she had a good head on her shoulders. I was not pregnant then. I got pregnant in 2020. Yeah, end of 2020. But I had a lot of different interests and I felt like I had time to do these hobbies. Now I've always kind of I've always attributed having kids to the death of my hobbies and the death of my own interests and the death of myself, in the sense of you have no time, it feels like, as a parent. Part of that is also, though, COVID introduced TikTok. And if you are familiar with TikTok, it's a very, very addicting app. It's very fun. I've deleted, I'm sorry, I'm aware of how often I say and so, and I'm trying really hard to cut that out for myself, but I'm just catching it after I say it at the moment. So hopefully in a few episodes, we're not hearing any more ums and so's. That would be nice. I was about to say it again. I've been thinking a lot about how I want to go back to the version of me in 2019. I feel like it was the most confident I have been as far as that time went. I was loving my job. I loved the money I made. I loved my activities. I felt really strong. I felt really badass. To be fair, I was climbing so much and I was working out so much because I had a backless wedding dress or a really low back wedding dress, and I wanted to look so good in that, and I did. I was really happy with how that all turned out for me. I also had hobbies like puzzles. My friends and I would get together a lot. We'd go out randomly. And so I can't go back to all of that, right? We're different people. The world is different. I have many different responsibilities. I can't spend money the way I used to because I'm not making money the way I used to because I have children, which I didn't used to have. And these are all things I can't undo. And I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to go back and changing that. I do, however, want to bring back some of my old self and merge her with my new self. I've been thinking of this idea lately of how do you go back to yourself when you've lost yourself, but also you didn't really ever know yourself. It's a bit of a complicated topic, and I'm not sure if I have all the ideas or the answers for that. It's something I might actually bring somebody else on to talk with about. In the meantime, though, I can't go back to who I was. I don't really want to go back to who I was. I like who I am now. I think I get better with age. I just do. I like myself the older I get. However, what can I include? Because we create a lot of excuses for ourselves. So I can use the excuses of kids or mortgage or being a housewife now. I can make all these excuses for why I've lost myself. So quotes. But trying to get back to myself and trying to create myself, because that's really what it is. We're not trying to get back to anything. I don't want to go backwards. I want to take the best parts of 2019 version of me and the best parts of every other year until now, and I want to create something that I really love, and knowing that she's going to change too. She's going to grow. She's going to mature, and interests will change. I really miss rock climbing, and I would like to get back into that, but that's a bit of an expensive sport to get started in. You wouldn't think it'd be so expensive, considering I have all the gear. However, my feet grew with pregnancy. My shoes were so good, but they were a little bit small anyway. And there is just just too much pain now when I put those shoes on. I make them fit, but it's kind of giving Cinderella's stepsister, like cut off my big toe and make this fit. I just feel like I can afford new shoes, but I need to also then afford a climbing membership. So all these things. I want to get back into climbing. I can do that occasionally, just not the way I used to. And that's fine. I'll take what I can get. Another thing that I can get back into myself as far as like the version of me that I really liked, I loved how creative I was. And I felt like I had so many ideas. I was making for a little while there during 2020, I was making 2 videos a week. I was making a travel video, like going back through old travel diaries. And then I was also going through like a self-help kind of situation. I was making videos on money, spirituality, I forget what my tagline was, but something about like make the world a better place. Or it was when you improve yourself, you improve the world. And I still stand by that every single time. I heard a quote the other day that said, you can't do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. And it has stuck with me, and I love that. I've never heard that before, but I really love that. Another thing, before I jump ahead of myself, what can I bring in? The creativity. I can be more creative. I do have a topic floating around here that I would like to expand on, and I'm not quite sure how to go about it. And that is being creative when you have no time to be creative. For me, I think I put myself into a little bit of a box or a limiting belief. I'm not sure which way we want to go with it. But I have decided at some point that in order to be creative, I need a lot of time. I need open-ended time, in fact. I don't want the pressure. I want to let myself come up with an idea, then I want to expand on the idea. I want to be able to take notes, take a little yoga break, go do a workout, make a coffee, run and do some thrifting, come back, keep going with the idea. I want to do all of it and then just film it or edit it or do whatever I had, like whatever practice or mode it would be. That's not doable with children at all, actually. I had made a little goal of 20 minutes, 20 creative minutes, just brainstorm and expand on little ideas. Do you think I got those 20 minutes? Hell no. My children love me, which is so great. I am so happy for that. And they're also small, so they need me too. I'm really excited for the stage where they love me, I love them, and we don't need each other as much. And I know that I'm probably going to regret those words when they're like 23 and they don't call me for 3 months. They're just off gallivanting the world like my siblings and I have done. But in the moment right now, I would really love 24 hours. Hell, I'll take 12 hours of just brain dumping and doing it on my own time. So I can't give myself old version of creative, but I do need to open up the idea of being creative in different ways. So this podcast, I'm making time for it. Actually, I don't know why my kids love me right now because I was kind of cruel this morning. I did not let my daughter nap. So she was cranky. So she was fighting with my son. They both were not happy. And the reason I didn't let her nap is because my son has school today when I'm recording. And I wanted her / needed her to nap right now, which it's all going according to plan. So it benefited me. I don't know if it benefited them, but today's a selfish day, I suppose. So anyway, I'm making time to be creative with the podcast. I am making myself film. I have jotted down ideas. I really wanted this to be more expansive and more thought out and a little bit more planned, and maybe some ideas for you as a listener that you can take away from all of this. I don't have those. I have maybe 15 or 20 words written down on this page in front of me, and I'm kind of winging it as we usually do. So that's fine. I think this is also another thing that I used to be very limited with / am limited with, is that my old YouTube videos were so structured. I would write them completely out. Like, I'm a blogger and a writer at heart. I like to write things out in detail. I love a good editing session, but you can't edit until you get everything out in my mind. And so not having the ability to format a podcast episode the way I want to or the way I like it to be is difficult. But who said that good things happen with easy things? You know, like, that's fine. I'm not saying that it can't be easy. It will get easy, but sometimes you have to do the hard stuff too. My friend pointed out a couple weeks ago. She said we're really front loading motherhood, or motherhood and parenthood in general is just you front load it. It's hard in the beginning. You have to work hard. You have to sacrifice a lot. But over the entire picture of motherhood, it gets really easy. And so I'm thinking about that in aspects of so many parts of life, or yeah, you know what I'm saying. So with my podcast, I don't get time to make it as structured as I like. I don't get time to edit my thoughts as much. And that's okay. I'm front loading it. One day I might have a little studio if I can keep this going as long as I'd like it to go. Maybe I can like create a little space downstairs that it's already set up, so it's not the hassle of setting up a light and a camera and everything. I can actually have time to put my ideas down and be creative that way. And then who knows? I know my one podcast I love listening to. It's called School of Self-Image now, but it used to be the French Kiss Life podcast, and her content has changed. And I looked back at my old YouTube stuff and realized my content has changed, and that's so encouraging because that means we're growing. My point is, in a very long, drawn-out way, as per usual, we can make time to be creative. It's just going to look different, and that's great. Different isn't bad. It's just challenging and hard in the beginning. We're front-loading different, I guess. So the next part of it that I was kind of missing of myself was the traveling. Traveling is expensive, especially in Canada. Even to travel within our own country, it is expensive. I would love to take the kids to Banff, and we could it's an hour and a half drive away, go get a hotel, go explore, go hike, play, whatever. That's a lot of money, actually. So that's not happening. Staycations aren't even that affordable anymore. So like if we're going to travel, we may as well put that money to doing something where we either see our family or we go see friends, or at least get like some kind of a relaxing vacation. So traveling has not been as much of something that I can do, and I really miss it. I'm a Sagittarius moon. Give me books and plane tickets. That's all I want in life, to feel loved. Don't talk to me. Just let me talk. I'm kidding. I do like to hear other people talk. But like, don't touch me. Don't get in my way. Just, books and plane tickets, and I will be happy. And I will love you, and I will come back for more attention later. That doesn't work right now. I don't have time to read as much as I want. I am making time to read with the social media break. It's been a little bit better. I don't have time or money to travel because I'm sorry, I don't even want to go camping with my children. I don't want to travel with my children. I've decided traveling with one kid wasn't so bad. Although now that I'm speaking this out loud, maybe I should travel with them, because the only issue I have with my kids in public is that they're so freaking loud, and it's my own ego that is getting attacked because I'm concerned about what other people are experiencing. And I'm not concerned about what other people think of me as a mom, or even what they think about my kid. Like, you can think my kid is a brat. That's fine. Sometimes he is. Most of the time, he's not. Most of the time, both kids are just tired and they're reacting to their surroundings with whatever. My thing is that I'm trying to like monitor everybody else's emotions, and I don't want to be causing disruption to anybody. So that is probably why I don't want to travel with my kids. Wow, look at us doing therapy for ourselves. Okay, so what else? Can't travel. We got to work on the ego, apparently. The other thing was that I was 27 in 2019. I will never be 27 again. Probably for the better. I mean, maybe I will in a future life. Right now I'm 32, and that feels like I would have accomplished a lot more in 6 years. But this is also reminding me that maybe I don't need to like worry so much about what I'm accomplishing, because in actuality, I've accomplished a lot. Now here's the part where I wonder, did 2019 me actually, like, she was cool, and because she was very independent. In the last 6 years, I sometimes feel like my biggest accomplishment is marrying well. My husband provides our entire life, which I'm very grateful for. He works so hard to do that. I provide our home life. I do my best to keep things going with laundry and housemaking and homemaking and shopping on a budget. And those things bring me joy. Like, doing a weekly grocery shop for under $150, wow, that's flirting. Like, I am so attracted to my bank account at that point. And I just don't know if maybe I feel a little bit lost because I'm not contributing the way I used to, and not contributing to our life. Like, we've never been, well, we were 50-50 for a while, but I'm no longer, or I kind of gave up that idea. I was like, we're going to pay percentages based off of our income. So I was paying according to what I could provide, but I was saving according to what I could provide. And I had a life that was mine. And 2025 me doesn't really feel like this is my life, because if it's so much about other people, namely a 3.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So that has been a biggest change, and I can't go back to being as independent as I was. Not right now, anyway. It's definitely the biggest sacrifice, I think, as moms. Like, we don't sacrifice just, everyone's like, you sacrifice time or you sacrifice money. Yes, but we actually sacrifice time that we can never get back. Like, my husband can sacrifice some time in the evenings of watching a show, but he can go watch that show again. I can never go back and like make up those years of being out of the workforce. I can never go back to making up those years of money and investing and rock climbing. Like, I mean, I sort of can, as far as I can build my muscles back and everything. But I do think about, like, what would I be climbing now if I'd never stopped? What would I be doing with YouTube or all of like my creative outlets if I'd never had any interruptions? So that's an interesting thought process as well. I don't necessarily want to go back to 2019 me, but I do wish I had a clearer vision of who I was in between from then to now, because I do feel like right now is where I'm starting to get a bit more clarity as to who I am and who I've talked to a couple friends and like this, and I feel like we're all similar stages. It just seems like the cycle has ended, and we are all starting to kind of look back on the last 5 or 6 years with a little bit of grief and sadness of what we've lost and what never got to come to fruition. And then we also get to enjoy like the positives of what did come through, right? Like, I got my kids, we have this beautiful home, I've been through depression, postpartum, prenatal, general anxiety. I was diagnosed with, or not, actually, I don't think I was diagnosed with rage. I'd have to talk to my therapist about that. We acknowledge the fact, though, that I have like postpartum rage, anxiety through the roof. And those are all parts of me that I've closed chapters on, or we're slowly at least closing the door. I can't wait to just shelve that entire book, but we're not there yet. So there's been so much growth that we get to be like joyful for too, but they're very hard lessons. So what is my point? My point is that, and I'm genuinely asking myself because I didn't get this far with my notes, what is my point here? I think what I'm trying to say is that we cannot go back, obviously, but we can bring aspects of our old selves or pieces of us that we miss. We can bring those aspects back into our present life. We just have to put in effort to knowing, put in the effort to bring it in, and also understand and hold space for the fact that it's going to look different. Everything that isn't going to fit right now, and everything's going to look different because our lives are different, and more importantly, we are different people. It's the same thing, like present me can't go back to 2019 and fit in that mold. I know too much now. I know more about the world. I've experienced more things. I don't fit into the version of me that I once was. And so I can't bring everything from then to now either, because it doesn't all fit. I think when we talk about letting go of things that aren't serving us anymore, we feel like it should be such an easy thing. Like, I'm gonna let go of this job, or I'm gonna let go of these people who aren't like making me feel good, or cut out this app or this book, whatever. But the harder part of that is letting go of the things we actually still miss that really still are not serving us, making that assessment and then that judgment and letting go of it. I hope that you have enjoyed this transition from crumping to loving yourself in your present moment. I'm not really sure how many bridges we had to cross to get here. The words on my page in front of me follow a similar guideline, but we definitely went off the rails and took a whole new road. So Great. Love that for this. Thank you so much for listening. You are doing all right. I'm doing all right. My shoulder, a little bit effed, but we're okay. She's going to be great next week. I've also been recording this just whenever I get a chance. So if you have questions, feel free to email me, sarahmgcarter@gmail.com. It's in the notes below. My Instagrams are posted. My TikToks are posted. I'm still social media free at the moment. And honestly, kind of loving it. The pressure's gone. But I am realizing how big, boring my life is. So that's been sad. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking now because I don't know when to stop sometimes, especially when I'm on a mic by myself. Let me know what you'd like to hear next, or if you want me to ramble about something else. And in the meantime, go find a mirror, look that person in the eyes and say, hey girl, you're doing all right. And then check yourself out and say, I love you. You're beautiful. And then we're going to have a good day. Okay? It's a good day. Love you. Bye.